Hello, I'm Dr. Nisa Khan. Many people know me as the author of Understanding LED Illumination, published in 2013 by CRC Press. It is now a well-known textbook for advanced undergraduate and graduate courses in electrical engineering. It teaches students and professionals how LED lighting works, LED lighting's challenges, and how to design LED lights for various applications. Since the time I published the book, LED lighting has become the dominant choice in all lighting, including vehicle and car headlights. It is not a secret that about a third of the people worldwide find LED headlights painful to look at, which often blinds them on the road, sometimes with heavy traffic. I have warned about this in my first book. Now I have written a second book called Blinding LED Headlights, the Biggest Blunder of Modern Science. While I attempted to solve the problem of why LED lighting, in particular vehicle headlights and many street lights, look so blindingly bright that stand to disorient us, I realized that modern physics, mathematics, and engineering communities have been avoiding solving the most basic problems associated with light or electromagnetic radiation generated by a light source of a particular kind that is not found in nature. This type of light source is now used everywhere in many applications. This type of light source is a man-made or artificial light source, and it is fundamentally different from natural light sources. Natural light is that which is produced by the sun, or fire, or a candle, and none of these contains surface structure that resembles a flat plane or a straight line, and natural light sources only have curved surfaces. The modern type of light and EM radiation sources today, however, contain surfaces that are very flat, and they only use box geometry, and light always exits from the flat surfaces. This fundamentally alters light or radiation emitted from these gadgets, and this light contains many fast and slow frequencies in front of the light source, while a majority of the light substantially travels in one direction, and that direction is straight off the middle of the radiation source. That is why LED headlights, when you directly look at them, blind you with extremely high light intensity, and also look dazzling with their many fast and slow frequencies or light vibration motions near and around the light source. This can blind many people as they drive, and it also affects those who can resolve the many fast and slow light frequencies or vibrations, and it overloads their neural system. The result is migraine, feeling angry, and in more severe cases, immediate convulsion into epileptic seizures or mental paralysis. Modern physics, mathematics, and engineering theories and practices around these phenomena are both incorrect and vastly inadequate. That is why the industry, academic, and safety authorities have been unable to fix the blinding LED headlight problems. Here are some common mistakes in modern science around light and electromagnetic radiation. The invention of the telephone credited to Alexander Graham Bell marked a new era for the US and the world. The telecom company AT&T sprang out of that invention, and I myself worked at AT&T Bell Labs for 6 years. But the current physics and electrical engineering theories fail to explain this invention correctly. Someone can talk into a telephone device, and our voice signal gets superimposed on the moving electrical signal carried by a wire or by an optical fiber. The same signal can be recovered with a receiver at the other end for a two-way or multiple-way conversation. However, the electrical or electromagnetic, including optical signal theory, says that the electrical signal in the wire is an AC signal where a voltage or a current undulates with peaks and valleys over time. Or an electrical signal can be DC or partially DC. But a typical voice signal ranges from 20 Hz to 20 kHz, and an electrical carrier signal could be in the gigahertz range. Still, the low-frequency voice signal has no issues in getting transmitted and received. The question then is the electrical signal or optical signal a sine wave like that shown here? The current laser theory is also incorrect. The current laser theory says that to build a laser, one needs two conditions. First, we need to heavily pump electrical or light energy into a material so that the atoms and molecules in the material could be excited to higher energy states, as shown here with two energy states. With heavy pumping or injecting energy into the material, atoms shown in blue jumps to a higher state and energized, as shown in red. After relaxing from the energized state, when it falls back to a lower energy state, it gives off a light particle shown in yellow. The second condition is that this action needs to occur in an optical cavity with two mirrors to produce gain with light reflecting back and forth between the two mirrors, and this produces a beam coming out of the cavity that is coherent or monochromatic. But this is not correct. The requirement for a laser is that when substantially dense energy in the cavity block is released by means of a flat surface, a narrow beam with sufficient coherence and sufficiently monochromatic would emerge. This is the mechanism I describe in my book, Understanding LED Illumination. The invention of the laser gave birth to the fiber optic communication industry, where a monochromatic or single frequency laser and coherent laser is used to transport data all around the world. Information is bundled into laser pulses like these. Then there are other data bundling techniques such as quadrature amplitude modulation or quadrature phase shift key modulation techniques, and now coherent techniques where data are coded in various phases of the laser beam or pulse, and all such data are recovered by detecting the different phases in the receiver. But what is phase? Can anyone draw phase in space-time? Phase is part of electromagnetic power or energy in space-time. So how does one draw phases in such radiation power in space-time? This wave solution from the wave equation shows phase as a term in this equation. But can anyone draw this wave solution in space-time? Is it a wave at all? The question electrical engineers need to ask themselves is that if single frequency laser is used for fiber optic communication, why then all signal analysis is done in frequency domain with fast Fourier transform or discrete Fourier transform, where the frequency spectrum for a signal looks like this, where the carrier or laser frequency is this skinny peak and most of the radiation power is elsewhere within a very broad spectrum. So is electromagnetic radiation a wave, as shown here, as taught in every notable university in mainstream academia? Or is it many overlapped wave like this in this picture? Or is it something one can determine using chaos theory? What is the relationship between phase and frequency, and how are they related to radiation power in spacetime? These answers cannot be found in mainstream physics and electrical engineering communities or from this equation. Light or radio signal is carried by radiation power in spacetime. This cannot be denied. So this radiation power or energy distribution must be illustrated in spacetime properly. The illustration that uses waves are not correct. Mainstream managed to calculate radiation power at the surface of a laser or an optical fiber. I am one of the pioneers of this type of calculation as shown here. The pattern shown here is not a wave. Another mistake mainstream academia and industries are making is that electric and magnetic field are separate entities as shown here, where people talk about similarities and dissimilarities between electric and magnetic fields. Electromagnetic field is continuous, and it contains both electric and magnetic properties together in the form of energy or power. Electric and magnetic fields are not orthogonal to each other. Electric and magnetic phenomena are infinitesimally connected, or rather overlapped in a smooth fashion over 3D space and time. This sketch showing the Earth having a magnetic bar with north and south pole is also incorrect. While basic physics and science are now rooted with the wrong fundamentals, our society and press media are getting polarized with two separate belief systems around facts. They're both sometimes partially right, so how do we close the gaps among us? That is what I'm hoping to do with my work. So I urge you to judge this video with an open mind. Judge my work with an open mind. And I invite you to read my new book, Blinding LED Headlights, The Biggest Blunder of Modern Science, with an open mind and with common sense. The book is now available on Amazon. It has 110 references and nearly 50 illustrations. In 2025, I hope to offer courses on the topics I discussed in this video, and I hope you can join me there and ask questions. Namaskar.